What is going on, peasants? My name is JB, and you guys can read thumbnails and titles. You know why we're here. This is our way too early Aegislash tier list because I like views. At least I'm honest, okay? If you're new here, click like, click subscribe, hit up my Twitch in the description down below. Getting very, very close to affiliate. If you could go drop a follow over there, it'd mean the world to me. But let's go ahead and talk about aegi. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you guys. I don't know how I feel about this Pokemon yet. I've played about 20-25 games on it, somewhere in between. And my win rate is not great, but my win rate is win rate is never great on new releases, and that is one of my pro tips for you guys as a content creator in this game. If you're unsure about a Pokemon, wait about a week before you pick it up and then play it after that, because people, if they don't get the new Pokemon on your team, they will just throw your games relentlessly. It is extremely painful to try to make content on this Pokemon or just any new Pokemon, because like I said, I'm just going to repeat myself, but if people don't get the new Pokemon, a lot of people will just quit. I had like 3 games out of like the 15 I played tonight for a video you guys are going to see tomorrow, where people would just not play if they didn't get Aegislash. It's ridiculous. It's really annoying. It's not really a problem that the devs can fix, but it is something that is unfortunately a thing that happens quite a bit. So yeah, if you're on the fence about Aegislash or any new release, just wait a few days, wait a while after the release till the hype calms down a little bit, and then pick it up and start playing it, because first couple days it is just extremely painful to try to play the new Pokemon. But with all that said, where do I think Aegislash ranks in Pokemon Unite? I am gonna put it in a solid B tier. Now, I am very how do I say, bad with this Pokemon. I've only done like over 50k damage like a handful of times in my games, but those games that I've done over 50k damage have been really big games where I've done like 80-90k. like I've had some pop-off games for sure, but a lot of my games I'm doing like 20 to 30k damage on this Pokemon, and I'm not sure if that's just me. It probably is, but this Pokemon doesn't really feel like it does a ton of damage. I've had games where I've been fully stacked before a Dreadnought fight, and I've gotten a lot of KOs. Like I've had like close to 10 KO games where I've still done about 35k. Like this Pokemon just doesn't do a ton of damage compared to other all-arounders and compared to really anything else in the game. But I do think if you figure out the mechanics of this Pokemon, this is a very mechanically driven Pokemon and a very highly, I don't want to say highly skilled, but a highly intuitive Pokemon. You really have to learn how this Pokemon's abilities work and how its attacks work to get the most out of it. If you can figure that out, I think the skill cap and the skill ceiling on this Pokemon is incredibly high, particularly with the Sacred Sword Wide Guard build. I keep wanting to say King Shield, but for some reason it doesn't have King Shield. Why the hell did they do that? The one may never know. But I think if you can figure out the skill cap for that build and how to really juggle the stacks by, you know, wide guarding in when you need to and then dashing through the team with Sacred Sword, the skill cap on that build in particular can be really, really high if you can learn how to play it well. The other build, Shadow Claw Ironhead, feels more button mashy, which I like, but it just it needs a little something. It definitely needs a lot of follow-up damage. It's great at setting up KOs. It's kind of an assist machine. That's what it's felt like for me. So if you have a lot of good follow-up on it, it can definitely be good. I think the Shadow Claw build is better for the jungle, and I definitely think Sacred Sword is preferred in lane. I think this Pokemon is really good at the attack weight stacking builds. The problem with it, however, lies in the fact that in team play, in coordinated 5-mans and pro play, there are so many Pokemon that just do that job better. Of course, Lucario, Machamp even, and to some extent, you can do stuff. You've seen stuff like Snorlax and Blastoise start to run those roles a little bit. I just don't think it compares to any of those Pokemon in a coordinated environment at all. In a solo queue environment, you can definitely get away with this Pokemon playing it. You can get away with anything you want solo queue, let's be real. But I just think there are Pokemon that does what it wants to do better. There are Pokemon that run crit builds better. There are Pokemon that run top lane better. There are obviously better junglers. It's not a bad Pokemon by any means. I just think it needs a lot of damage follow-up, or you need to be really, really good with it mechanically to truly carry a game solo. So for that reason, I'll put it in B tier. I think it's very, very, very high B tier, if not low A tier. For now, we're going to put it in the Thanos tier, which is perfectly balanced as all things should be. So we'll put it very high B tier. I don't think it's broken by any means. I don't think it's underwhelming by any means. I think it's honestly pretty balanced. I'm just bad with it. Where are we going to rank everything else, though? Let's talk about a Pokemon that I think is let's talk about an ability I think is really broken. Let's talk about Zero Aura. I think Wild Charge is extremely broken. I really want to put it S tier, but I don't think it is. I think Wild Charge is S tier though. I find it really annoying that this Pokemon that just all right. Listen, dude, I get it, JB. Words are hard. It's fine. I find it very annoying that this Pokemon can just be completely immune to all damage for like 3 seconds on like a 9-second cooldown. It's a little bit ridiculous, but I guess it's balanced out by the fact that it has a level 10 Unite move and level 14 Discharge or Wild Charge Plus. I think a good way to ring in Zero Aura a little bit is give it its level up moves a level earlier, but just nerf the damage immunity on Wild Charge because it's stronger than Unstoppable. It is literally invulnerable. So I think Wild Charge needs to be tweaked a little bit. It needs to be able to take damage during Wild Charge. It shouldn't just be able to get away with that for free. That's just my take on it. I think Wild Charge is a little bit busted at the moment. So for that reason, we'll go ahead and put it in very, very high A tier. I think, however, Wild Charge is an easy S tier ability for going just off abilities. I think the rest of Zero Aura's kit is pretty fine though. It's just Wild Charge needs a little something done to it. Let's talk about another extremely highly rated Pokemon, Wigglytuff. I still think it's the best Pokemon in the game. Sing, cute charm. Do we really need to say anything else? They gave it Slow Smoke too, so it's just even more of an annoyance. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and throw it in the S tier where it belongs. Speaking of S tier Pokemon, I still can't believe someone in my last tier list video tried to tell me this Pokemon is not S tier. Cinderace is like the best attacker in the game, and it's not even close. It's not even a conversation. Cinderace is broken at this point. Blaze Kick, it's just a power creep of Pokemon like Greninja and other stuff just not having any real updates to it, and any of the other attackers. Decidueye being just horrible for what it is, and there's just, and like it evolves so early. It gets online so early. Blaze Kick is so good so early. For that reason alone, this is the best jungler in the game by far, and it just does ridiculous damage. Has an amazing Unite move for both secures and for just executing as well. It's a great Pokemon. It has nothing wrong with its kit. There is not a bad move in this thing's kit, not a bad ability in this thing's kit. Cinderace is unbelievable, fantastic, definitely needs a damage nerf, and we'll leave it at that. Let's talk about Pokemon. Dude, I have been talking for like 4 hours. I've been recording a ton of Aegislash gameplay. I cannot speak. Why is Clefable still in these? By the way, I don't understand why people keep putting Clefable in these. I'm gonna make a theory video on what I think the next support's gonna be, by the way. I'm gonna tell you why there is a 0% chance that it is Clefable, and I will gladly eat my words when it is Clefable. But let's talk about a Pokemon that sucks. I thought this Pokemon was good after the buffs. I thought they, finally turned a corner with it. I thought they, did something to make it pretty damn decent. I lied. Decidueye sucks. Decidueye is terrible. Don't play it. It's especially in lane. If you're gonna play Decidueye, play with at least a trio and play it in jungle and gank the lane with your Blissey. Because if you're playing Decidueye without a Blissey, you're playing Decidueye wrong. And if you're playing Decidueye in the lane, you're literally throwing the game. Decidueye is terrible in lane. Listen, I have been messed up by a few Decidueyes lately, and that's because the Decidueyes have a ton of help around them. They need a lot of follow-up. They need a ton of peel. They need damage boost from Blissey. They need a lot of help to do anything really. But if Decidueye can get all of that, Decidueye is a decent Pokemon. It just can't get all of that, especially in a solo queue environment. And if you're doing that sort of thing in a team environment, just play Cinderace in my opinion. But if you want to have fun with Decidueye, that's how you have fun with Decidueye. That's how you have to use Decidueye in a team environment. So for that reason, I think it is sadly one of the worst Pokemon in the game. I think it's pretty rough. Definitely needs a mobility buff. I don't think it really needs a damage buff. It just needs a mobility buff. It needs a survivability buff. Make it evolve at 4 and 6. Like, there's no reason it should not get a level up move at, like, there's no reason it can't have Spirit Shackle or Razor Leaf at level 4 or at Dartrix. There's no reason it can't have that. I get it's not a ghost type, dude. It can't learn Spirit Shackle if it's not a ghost type. It's a fucking video game. Make the Pokemon better. Like, dude, it needs to be better. Let's be real. Because it kind of sucks. It really sucks. So make it a 4-6 Evo. Make it, get a level up move at 5 if you want to keep it at 5-7. Like, it needs something at 5. It needs a better, laning phase because it is utterly useless in lane. One of the it is the worst Pokemon in lane by far. But yeah, Decidueye definitely needs some help. Did I say enough D words in there? We got the alliteration in, so we take this. What else? Where do you want to go next? We'll go with Cramorant next. And something else I want to say about the D tier I typically use it for Pokemon I think need buffs the most, but I'm gonna start using the C tier for that, I guess, because Cramorant is not as bad as Decidueye, but Cramorant still needs some love. Needs a damage buff, needs maybe a little bit of an HP buff or something like that, but Cramorant's pretty close to decent. Honestly, Power Creep has brought it back in a little bit. It's just Pikachu and Venusaur do everything that Cramorant does better. So does Gardevoir. It just needs a little bit of love. Cramorant's not bad. You can definitely have fun with it. It's one of the most fun Pokemon to play in the game, either build really. But it needs a Unite move buff. It needs damage buff, maybe an HP buff even. It needs a little bit of love, but it's close to being good. It's pretty close to being good. So we'll put it in C tier. What else is good? What else is good? Let's just get the rest of the supports out of the way. Eldegoss, broken, best support in the game. Heals, provides team, support with Leaf Tornado, speed boost. So yeah, nothing bad about his kit. It needs nerfed. It's been one of the best supports in the game forever. Best healer in the game. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give it its just desserts and put it in the S tier. Speaking of supports, we'll go ahead and throw Blissey in next. Blissey, I think it's solid. It is definitely usable. I think Power Creep is actually bringing it up a little bit because Helping Hand is just so useful, and there is so much CC in the game that Safeguard is just getting such a big buff out of so many god dang slow smokes. Safeguard is it's basically just a passive buff to Safeguard. It just helps out a lot with that, providing shields as well for your team. And then it's always had one of the best Unite moves in the game. Helping Hand is one of the best attacks in the game. It's just, it relies so much on your teammates, and with the passive buff from Slow Smoke making Safeguard better, it gets more use out of that ability, so it is inherently just better. So I've had it in D tier for my past few videos just because it's so bad solo queue, and I do think it needs a little bit of health. I think if you make, I've said this before, if you make Egg Bomb work like in a grenade from Overwatch, Blissey is the best support in the game. But as it is right now, I still think it's completely outclassed by the other supports, but it's definitely in a better place than it has been. So we'll put it in the C tier for now. Greedence. Listen, in terms of annoyance, it's up here. In terms of actual usability, I think it's probably still close to A tier. I should have just done Mr. Mime, but oh well. We'll do Mr. Mime after this. Invade Greedent it's not good. Let's just put it out there and up front. Invade Greedent isn't good, but it is the single most annoying thing in the fucking game, and that cannot be overstated. A good invading Greedent is the single most annoying thing that I have ever had to deal with in this game. And just the unstoppable mobility on cooldown, bro. This Pokemon is it's just not fun to play against, and in a bad way. There are Pokemon that are not fun to play against. You're like, oh, that's cool. He made a good play. Greedent is just mindlessly freaking annoying, and it needs a mobility nerf. I think it needs to not be unstoppable with either of its berry moves. I don't know why it's unstoppable with either of its berry moves. It's unCCable. Like, that needs to be taken out of its kit. Like, it's just super annoying. You can still get away with the scoring builds if you take the unstoppable away. You can still have the mobility, but one of those two things need to go. It can't have the best mobility in the game, be the best speedster in the game, and be unCCable, uncrowd controllable during, being the best speedster in the game as a defender. One of those things needs to go, in my opinion. And I personally think both of them should go, but I think the CC needs to go before the mobility. That's just me. The unstoppable needs to go before the mobility. So yeah, do something with Greedent. It sucks. It's annoying to play against. Mr. Mime, I'm gonna put it high A tier. Mr. Mime is very good. I don't think it's as good as Aura though, but I think a good Mr. Mime can carry any game. It has some of the best crowd control in the game. Speaking of, with barrier / confusion combo, I still think it's confusion stun needs a little bit of nerf on the time you're stunned. Other than that, I don't think there's really a whole lot wrong with Mr. Mime. I just think a good Mr. Mime can completely shut down a team. So shout out to good Mr. Mime players. Okay, where do we want to go next? Let's get a few fast ones out of the way. I think Charizard, nothing's changed from it. I don't think it's S tier. I think it's still a very solid A tier pick. Same thing with Garchomp, super solid A tier pick. I love that Garchomp is usable now. Dragonite, I really want to put it S tier just for the secures. I think it's an amazing solo queue Pokemon, one of the best solo queue Pokemon in the game, but I don't think it's quite S tier anymore. I think it's still very, very good. I'm going to put it at the very, very top of A tier. I guess we'll rank within the tiers. We'll do something like this. Let's see. Who else is still very good? Venusaur is still very, very good. Pikachu is still very, very good. Just some Pokemon that haven't really had any changes to them, but they're still really good. Talonflame, this is going to be a hot take. Nah, I don't think it's S tier. I think it's very close to S tier. We'll go ahead and put Talonflame A tier. I think Brave Bird is so strong. I love the Aerial Ace buff. But man, this is still one of the most brainless Pokemon to play, dude. It just does so unbelievably much burst damage. It's just so freaking strong with burst damage. It's very annoying, very unfun to play against Talonflame, but just because it's so easy to play. If it had a higher like skill ceiling on it, like if you didn't have such like a huge area of effect on Brave Bird, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it is super easy to land massive Brave Birds and just yeet yourself into even more people with your Unite. Like, this Pokemon is just super easy to play. If you haven't played Talonflame, go play Talonflame. Slap yourself some crit items on, slap yourself a Buddy Barrier on, slap yourself an Energy Amp on, and just kill everything, dude. I do think Energy Amp Talonflame is legitimately good, but that's just me. Okay. Lucario, it's broken. There's no way to balance this Pokemon. They've tried patch after patch after patch to put this thing in line, but something about his kit just continues to be broken. Right now it's Close Combat. Right now it's the Slow Smoke buff. I think they need to revert the Slow Smoke changes immediately because they overbuff the fuck out of that item. But yeah, Lucario, it's stupidly good. Extreme Speed, they nerfed the damage, nerfed the healing. Hey, guess what? It still kills everything, and they just made CC even better too, so yeah, have fun dealing with the most broken Pokemon in existence. It's yeah, it's yeah, if we're ordering them within the tiers, it's that. So Lucario's not fun to play against. Snorlax, we'll put it in B tier for now. I do think that Greedent is significantly better than Snorlax at the moment, just for invading things. Although, no, it's not significantly better. I think it's still a solid A tier Pokemon. How do we want to? I don't. This is why I don't like ordering within the tiers, because I feel like I have to stick to it. I think Venusaur's there. I think Talonflame's like here. Yeah, that seems about right, honestly. So we'll do something. It really doesn't matter. Don't take too much into where they're ranked within the tier, but I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to, you know, sort of stick to it. But yeah, I think Snorlax is still very good. Has the best early game in the game besides Pikachu, in my opinion. Has the easiest secure in the game. Tackle plus auto does so much damage. You can literally secure every lane Pokemon. So Snorlax is very good and an underrated, really fun build. Try invading with Snorlax, dude. Like, for some reason, X-Speed is popular. I think X-Speed is dog shit. I think it's one of the worst items in the game, except on Snorlax, because you can get away with some block shenanigans with it, especially if you're running block. Heavy Slam, you can jump in, chase down, and then X-Speed back into your X-Speed block back into your team, or, you know, X-Speed off the points and stuff like that. Like, X-Speed block can be usable. I don't think it's horrible. I think there are better items. And X-Speed Flail, like, Flail is just a meme build. We don't really talk about that, but I've seen people run it. But try invading with X-Speed Snorlax. It's actually really fun because it does have such a good secure. But yeah, try it out sometime. It's actually really, really fun. So yeah, we'll put Snorlax in A tier. It's still very, very good. Let's get some more B tiers and let's get some people to hang out with our good friend Aegi. I think Absol's a good example of a B tier Pokemon. I think it's outclassed by Zeraora and Talonflame, but still really good. Great laner, great jungler, great secure. It just falls off really late, really bad late game, and it is extremely frail. Other than that, not a whole lot of bad things to say about Absol. If you're able to stay alive with it, you can do a ton of damage. So easy B tier pick for me. Gardevoir does way too much damage to be anywhere but A tier in my mind. As a jungler, as a laner, it's usable in lane. I don't personally like it in lane, but that's just me. We'll go ahead and put it in A tier for now. What else we got? I think Ninetales. Again, I just think it does too much damage to be B tier. Like, it just has one of if not the best auto attacks in the game. It does so much damage with its enhanced auto and freezes, and has crowd control on its passive as well. I think Ninetales is incredible. Avalanche Blizzard is so good. So much crowd control, so much just, you know, damage, just raw damage output. It's great. Good Unite move as well, just making your auto attacks even deadlier. So yeah, Ninetales is fantastic. So we'll go ahead and throw that boy in A tier. What else do we have? Let's throw some more Pokemon in B tier. Slowbro, pretty balanced Pokemon at the moment. Not a whole lot to complain about. It's just they're better defenders. Same thing with Mamoswine. Same thing with Blastoise. I think most of the defenders are B tier. I think just Snorlax and Greedent are just slightly better. I do think Trevenant is pretty damn good. I'm still on the team that says Trevenant doesn't suck. I think Trevenant is really fun and really solid. So give Trevenant a try if you haven't yet. I think it's pretty damn good. Has unbelievable sustain. Has really fucking good Unite move. Sorry for the F-bomb, but yeah, its Unite move is so good. It needs a lot of team follow-up, but bro, it does so much damage if you are able to follow up on it. Like Cinderace auto attacks, bro. Poof. It's basically helping hand for the whole team. or for anything you hit with it. Basically, it's really good. It's a great Unite move. Try out Trevenant if you haven't. Like, I seriously think it's underrated. Sylveon, I just don't think it's as good as Pikachu, Venusaur, Ninetales, Gardevoir. We'll put it there. Crustle, I do think it's a step below these guys. I really do. I really do. I think it's just, I think it is. Like, it's still good. X-Scissor is one of the best crowd control abilities in the game. Like, I didn't realize how good X-Scissor is until I got completely knocked off. I had 3 people completely knocked off a point by 1 X-Scissor. If you can land big X-Scissors, it's still really good. It's just all the other defenders do that sort of stuff better, and Greedent just does the scoring thing better than Crustle could ever hope to. So for that reason, I think it does need a little bit of love. Just give it its crits back on Stealth Rock, and I think Crustle will be in a much better place. So yeah, that's all it needs. That's all it needs, man. Just give it its crits back. And unfortunately, I think 3 of these last 4 are going to be going in A tier. I really do. I think Serena is still incredible. Heals way too much with Stomp and Triple Axle still. Good enough Unite move. Good early game, decent late game. Like Serena, excuse me, is still really good. Machamp, Lifesteal buff was big for it. Karate Chop buff, very big for it. And it's still just a beastly Unite move. So yeah, unfortunately the submission buffs aren't that great right now because a lot of things are running full heal. Sort of, it got a buff, but it kind of got a nerf because there are so many full heals running around, and there are so many Pokemon that could just go unstoppable on cooldown. So I do think that is a little bit of a problem for submission, but Dynamic Punch is still really good. It raises your attack and you can just crit through everything with Cross Chop. I think Machamp is very good right now, so we'll put it up there. And then Greninja. It hasn't had a balance change in forever, and it's still really fucking good. Still does a ton of damage, and it's a very, very solid Pokemon. And then last, and certainly not least, maybe least, we have Gengar. I think Gengar sucks. Yeah, I don't think it's good. I think it's really bad. I don't think the changes to its level up moves did anything. In fact, they probably hurt it because it makes your what build was it? So you get it made the Hex Sludge Bomb build better because you can now get Hex with Will-O-Wisp, which is nice, but it made your Dream Eater build worse. So it is what it is. And either way, you're still useless at bees in jungle. There are so many better junglers. In fact, I'd rather have Decidueye in jungle, but Decidueye is even worse in lane than Gengar somehow. They're the 2 worst laners in the game. If you ever play these Pokemon in lane, you're literally throwing the game. I don't care. Like, you can win a game in lane with these Pokemon, sure, but you shouldn't. There are so many better Pokemon to play in lane. Like, just don't, like, as the tier says. But yeah, you're just completely useless at bees, even if you are the jungler. You're not even remotely useful until you're Gengar, and that's not till level 9. So yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't think Gengar is a good Pokemon. I think all the other speedsters do its job better. I think there are so many better junglers, and there are obviously way better laners. I think Gengar just sucks. That's my take. So yeah, there's my tier list. Let me know what you think. I do think Aegislash does end up in the very high B tier. I just think all the other all-arounders do a job better, and there are way better junglers for that role as well. But it's still a very usable, very fun Pokemon. Let me know what you think. Please yell at me for being wrong, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.